Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video I'm going to run through how I would invest £100 in the UK stock market right now and how you could generate £100 per month if you don't have it right now. So there's two main ways that you can make this £100 per month that you're eventually going to invest in. Number one, cutting back your expenses, and number two, increasing your income. Now, in terms of expenses, we're all guilty of buying things that we don't necessarily need. And one thing that I came across on Instagram is actually before you buy a product, wait 24 hours or 48 hours is even better. If you're still not thinking about that product after the 48 hours or you haven't needed that product in 48 hours, you don't want to buy it because it's not going to be useful. It's a great way of managing your expenses because you're not ultimately rushing into things. A lot of purchases are made on impulsive actions. So it basically means that as soon as we see a deal, we sort of think like to ourselves that we need to have it. And that's why Prime is so popular, because we cannot wait for products. We always want them as quickly as possible. So the second tip for reducing your expenses has definitely got to be creating a budget. It's not really about restricting what you spend your money on, it's more about understanding where your money is going, because ultimately if you know that you're spending far too much in one area, you can try and cut that back and obviously allow yourself to bring some more money into a pot that you can then invest in each month and not spend on unnecessary things. Now, increasing your income, guys, there are numerous ways of trying to increase your income. There's number one, if you're in a current job, try and ask for a pay rise, see if you can get one. You never know, it's worth the ask. And number two is starting a side hustle. You guys know that I absolutely love a side hustle, so go check out my other videos if you're struggling to find one. But there's so many different ones. They all require a little bit of effort, so don't be thinking that you're going to make loads of money without any effort, because most of them do. And there's also other things like using top cash back, because ultimately if you're still buying things, you may as well try and get some cash back on those. And over a month, those cash backs can actually add up, so that every little helps, to be fair. So once you've got your £100 a month to invest with, the next question is, how do you invest and what do you invest in? So how do you invest? I would recommend using Trading 212. There are so many different platforms that you can actually use to invest with, but Trading 212 for me is the cleanest and the most simplistic one to use. I'll leave a link down below of how you can join Trading 212. It's completely free to join, and when you use the link down below, you will get a free share up to £200. So once you've chosen the trading platform that you want to use, the next question is, what shares are you going to buy, or what sort of investments are you going to make? Now, it depends really on your risk tolerance. Now, what that means is basically, do you feel like you can go and risk all of that £100 per month, or do you want to go on the other side and basically just not risk much of it at all and only make very, very small gains? For me, it depends on age. So if you're younger, the risk tolerance should be a lot higher, because effectively if you lose any money through investments, you should be able to replace it through your jobs or your side hustles. Whereas if you're older, you should be looking at low risk investments, because you want to protect your capital and try and make small incremental gains. And also you should have a larger pot of money to be investing with, and so obviously a small percentage will actually turn out to be a decent return. However, if you're younger, say between 20 or 30, you should have a decent risk tolerance, and that would mean investing in specific companies, or certainly companies which have high growth potential, have not yet quite seen it yet, but they could really blow up. Whereas if you're sort of looking for low to medium tolerance, you may be looking at sort of things like bigger companies, sort of like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. Or if you're very, very low risk, you want to be looking at ETFs, which are index funds. Now, I personally actually do invest in index funds because I always want to try and beat inflation, especially right now because inflation is absolutely through the roof. So a good way to try and beat inflation is to invest in ETFs like the S&P 500 and try and make anywhere between 5 and 10% incremental gains each year, which if you have a large pot of money is absolutely fantastic. But even still, with small amounts of money, you're definitely going to beat the inflation rate, and also that basically means that you're making money every year instead of losing it against inflation. And just to put it into perspective for you guys, if you invest £100 in the S&P 500, based on the annual return of the last 30 years, you actually make an annual return of 9.89%. Now, if we stick that into a compound interest calculator over 30 years at 9.89%, £100 per month investment, you'll end up having a grand total of £220,000 after 30 years. And the crazy thing is, you'll have earned £184,000 in interest. So you'll only have committed 36,000 to make 220,000. How mad is that? So there you have it, guys. That is going to wrap up today's video on how I would invest £100 in stocks and investments. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please give it a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more money making content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.